Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very special stream here on UNGA Down Under. This is the Top 8 Season 1 preview show. My name is Krisna, also known as Castle9, and joining to me tonight, I have a few very special guests. My co-commentator, Tom Scott.
Howdy, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
WP admin and also commentator, Luke Wojtkiewicz, also known as Nezs.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And our tournament director and founder of UNGA, it's Michael Cicillo. You'll all know him as Schenkhan in his lovely picture. I'm glad you brought the energy, Shen.
Hello, everybody.
We're starting off well. Before we jump in to the matchups tonight, so we're going to go through all of the matchups that are going to be happening tomorrow night, as well as a few announcements coming up a little later. But again, before we begin, I'd like to give a big thank you to all our sponsors for this first season. It's been a lot of behind-the-scenes work here at UNGA. We couldn't possibly have done it without all our sponsors, starting off with Genuine Gaming and Royce and the FGC manager, Yusuf, for all their hard work. And they actually helped us get in contact with their other sponsor, QanbaUSA, and they've been able to donate. You may have seen on Twitter earlier in the week, the fight stick bag that goes to the... I believe it's the winner of the highlight for tomorrow night.
That's it.
And also our three local competitions, Team WP, our online community, Double KO, run by Fangreer, helping out the Sydney and Wollongong FGC, and of course, Melbourne CCH, run by Muttons down there at Collingwood Library. So we're actually going to jump straight into our first match, and there's no other place to start with this season other than the person who's been dominating from start to finish, and that's going to be Panda.
100%.
I'm reaching. Yeah. Goes Chips, chases it. We get it.
Are you sure he said?
Maybe not.
If he
Yeah,
spins.
let's see.
Alright, it spins.
Reset.
I regret not
corner.
spending.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
I'm not fun. Are you kidding me?
Oh, bro. Oh, man. Just take the
Panda.
track.
How? So I want to actually ask Nez of you first, because I think most of the people... So UNGA, as many people might know, is kind of a precursor to the Friday night tournaments that we ran at WP. And I don't think a lot of people would have seen Panda before that. I think most people would have seen him at something like Catch Warriors Online, which you actually casted. So I kind of want you to give your opinion on what made Panda so dominant compared to maybe the people they would have seen normally in these competitions.
I mean, the biggest thing that everybody knows is the character change from Ken to Akuma. But it wasn't instant. His Akuma was always very good from the start, but he's hit that part of the grind where everything just makes sense. And even when we've seen him the other week, he was playing a couple different characters. You could see he had the inbuilt back heavy punch anti-air on characters that don't have a back heavy punch anti-air. That's the level that his Akuma has gotten to recently, and I think that's why he's been so successful.
How long did he play Akuma before he actually like fully switched over? Because I know he played at, was it the BAM tournament, the BAM Pro to Evo? He was still on Ken back then.
Yeah, he was. It was because I've been watching Panda for a long time too, and I think the first time I started seeing the Akuma was around the time Kage came out, because he swapped to Kage for about a week, realized Kage was garbage, and then very quickly moved on to Akuma. And there was with that character swap, I think a lot of Panda, one of the strong things that Panda's done is he's toned down the nuttiness. Like I remember watching him play like 2 years ago, and he would just throw light DPs in neutral. Like he would just do them.
Oh, I remember that. That was like
if he thought people were going to throw, he would always light DP. He wouldn't tech. Right? And I think a huge part of his improvement was that adjustment of knowing, okay, so taking these risks is something that I should do, but not too much. And I feel like having less health as Akuma probably would have helped with that as well, because one air in DP and you've lost 30%.
Because I
Yeah,
remember,
for sure.
I think it was Gfinity season 1, and he did the light punch DP into heavy punch DP,
Yeah.
like in whiff in neutral.
Yeah, and then there was that gif that ended up on High Fight of the pop off when he did he has like the arms out.
But I feel
Yeah.
like there aren't that many people that are stranger. People always knew Panda was good, but I don't get why he's dominated so much this season. It can't have been just incredibly lucky. I feel like there has been something
No.
different between now and probably the start of the year, even.
I do know one thing. Right before, or right as he started to do really good, he just finished his exams.
Yeah,
so he
he
got
was
time.
because he was I remember when he used
Yeah.
to stream heaps. He would stream at these for like obtuse as hours because he'd be like, "Just finished my my assignments. All right, let's go." And he'd hit the stream button at like 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, and it's like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
um,
But yeah, ever since he finished his exams, I guess he's had a lot of time to practice and get that muscle memory down.
He does
and
like
it
grind.
really
I remember
shows.
there's a really famous was it Evo Japan where he's just in his singlet,
yeah, when he was
sweating,
playing,
and just been on that setup for a long time.
Yeah, and
That's
everybody
every
was like,
event.
"Who is this dude?" Everybody was like, "Who is this dude playing Ken?" And he was just sitting there, and everybody was popping off. I remember. And then he swapped to the Abel on the Street Fighter 4 cab as well, and everyone was like, "Dude, this guy's a nuts." Sick.
Shen, I want to throw this over to you because I know you, being a TO of a lot of our competitions, you actually faced him in one of the Couch Warriors online tournaments, and you managed to knock him out of that bracket. And I know you've been keeping it, you're slightly smirking behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You've disabled yourself from this UNGA for this season. But what do you think people are missing? What do you think that you saw that maybe other people haven't seen yet or haven't been able to pick up from him? Is his mic gone?
He's
gone.
He's gone.
Shen muted?
That's all right. I actually
Shen is muted,
have
yeah.
something. Oh, great.
There we go.
Did you hear the question?
Chip in after Nezs.
Oh, yeah.
Had his
I won't give too much away, but before that victory that you were talking about, I had a conversation with Shen, and like I said, I won't go into the details, but he did explain to me the ways in which Panda is strong, but also the ways in which he thinks he is weak, and he went and proved it in that set. That was like maybe the same week of that set, just before it. So if there is someone to ask about how to play against Panda, I think Shen is definitely the right person to ask that.
I feel like we've got to talk about rumors a little bit later, but maybe she could be searching for that VOD just to double check what it was. Shen, did you have anything to add?
Well, I'm not going to give a game plan away.
Yeah.
to our top 8 players to
No,
fight
of course
Panda,
not.
but
Yeah.
I think a big reason for his success has been, besides obviously swapping to Akuma is very strong. He plays very oppressively, where if his opponent has a game plan, he will always have answers to stop their game plan and make sure his is the one that they need to be paying attention to. And a lot of the time, it seems his opponents aren't ready for that. So
He can force the flow of
Yeah.
the match a lot easier.
He's very, very good at controlling the tempo of the game with some of Akuma's less talked about options. Stuff like, that reversal V skill, like the parry into the palm, or stuff like the Air EX fireball and things like that. Like just throwing these curveballs at people that sort of can stop their tempo, reset it, and then allow him to push the tempo again.
Okay, interesting. Well, the person that's actually going to be facing against that on tomorrow night is going to be the one and only Genuine Gaming Rumors.
Drop Costin. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
We're just down to first to two. It's a ranked match now.
Yeah. Oh, nice way.
Oh, nice. Good pickup.
He was looking for the air-to-air there, didn't he?
Yeah. Not too zonk. He's been getting good mileage out of that so far in this round.
Yeah. Space Ghost is looking for the shimmy, right? You sort of walk back.
He's done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think Rumors has always wanted to shimmy first. Oh, almost.
What a great way. Yeah.
I want to start this off by asking you, Tom, since
Yep.
you're the Cody expert on the panel.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you know it a lot better than the rest of us.
Yeah.
But compared to the other
definitely.
characters that have to face in the top 8, do you think Cody's well-rounded enough?
Now I think that outside of specifically Dalsim, I don't think that Cody has any matchups that are like really, really bad. Just about everything's winnable, and I don't see anyone picking Dalsim in this top 8. So I'd say so. The sway was huge, plus the level 2 Zonk as well. The character just got like huge buffs, like basically remade how we played alone with the sway and the walk speed and then the button buffs, stuff like that. He got exactly what he needed, and he also got exactly what Rumors needed to be able to play him like he liked to play Birdie, which is what he always tells me why he picks Cody. It's not even because of the stuff like the dirt, like with the pipe and stuff like that. That's all fun and games. Like that's extra. It's like icing on the cake. It's the fact that he has the buttons and the buffer options to play the character in the same way that he wanted to play Birdie, which is that sort of slow footsies, sort of calculated speed that he likes to run at.
Because the thing I've always worried about, if I compare him to the other people that have mained a character for a very long time, say Somniac, for example,
Yeah.
or if he's in the category of the players that can multi-character pretty easily, like say like a Rups,
Yeah.
or a Travis. I mean, those have a like very defined ults, but I don't think Rumors has ever had a very defined ult. And when he made that switch from Birdie to Cody at the start of the year, he had a lot of difficulty in trying to catch up, back up
Yeah, he
to
did.
the level that he was initially at.
He did.
As he's come through, now we're past halfway throughout the year. It's become a lot more clear. And now it's a lot more comfortable, but even when he was trying to make this top 8, it came really late in the season. Like he was hovering just below 8, just above 7, something like that. And it wasn't till week 7 that we actually got to see it. And that's what my kind of worry is. Like he's just switched over to his main, but he doesn't have a comfortable ult like some of these other players. So he's kind of stuck in no
I think
man's
he
land.
does now. I think he does now, and I think it's the Honda. The Honda is the only character.
Well, you saw that on Danger House on Monday night.
Yes.
Like-
I've been playing against the Honda a fair bit as well. The Honda is ready specifically for the 2 matchups that he will pick Honda in, which is Poison and Dazzle. He doesn't need a pocket for any others. He literally doesn't. Cody is good enough that you don't actually need it for any other matchup. Like Guile used to be awful. Now Guile's probably 5-5, if that might even be Cody favored. Akuma used to be awful, but Sway completely changed that matchup as well. But yeah, I think for Rumors, honestly, like for him, it's about exactly what you were saying, which is he just wants to prove that his Cody is at the point where his Birdie was. That's all he wants to do.
Yep.
He wants to get that thought process that you just had out the door as quickly as possible. And I think that it's close. The Honda's ready for the bad matchups, but I don't think he's going to get any of the matchups unless CO picks Poison.
CO Poison. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
But I don't think CO would do that because Rumors would know that Poison well and truly too well. So yeah, I think the Cody is ready now. I think he's been playing his ass off. Like on ranked, he lost like 20k points or something.
Yes,
and he's gotten them all back.
He got them all back now.
He's been grinding extremely hard to be ready for specifically this, I think. Well,
I'll throw this over to the rest of you guys because, I mean, the bracket tomorrow night is going to be a best of 3 the whole way through. And even if he's been a little weak in UNGA, where he's been strong has actually been Danger House. First
long
and 5s,
sets.
Long sets, exactly. So do you think the format tomorrow might help him?
I think it definitely does. He's definitely a long set player, but I think he has a very hard first match against Panda. As Shen was saying, Panda is the kind of person that likes to force a game plan onto you and make you deal with it. And to me, Rumors is somewhat how I played, where he invites people to try to play their game plan against you, and then he'll try to figure it out as he goes. He'll be like, oh, you're doing that. I do this. I make this change, this. He'll invite you to let you try. That's why when you see him or Som play, or him or Travis,
It's very
there's a lot of timeouts.
Yeah.
Because they're all players that they don't force their game plan. They can, because they're very good and they can change their style, but they like to see other people's game plans and then try to beat that game plan.
Yeah. Cody has great tools for that as well, though.
Yeah.
The Sway being super, super good at sort of countering what people throw at you, especially against Akuma as well. I don't think that I've seen Rumors beat Panda in that matchup.
No,
I think you're right.
they've only
I
played
don't-
twice, this UNGA, and I think
Yeah.
the time that he beat him, Panda was playing Chun,
Yeah.
if I remember. That was a 2-1 in favor of Rumors.
So it is going to be a very steep first match, but he's got the tools to beat him, and I know that Rumors loves a challenge, so I reckon he'll probably enjoy that he's got probably the hardest first match.
Well, I do know, like, he does like to prep. I do see him in discussion in WP, and he likes to go over anything that he's found out in training mode, or if he gives away any tech that he might have found out and things like that. I think he does, he's had a week to maybe think about this.
Fairly certain he's in voice chat with a bunch of people right now, probably discussing what we're talking about. So
Right. I could see that. Shen, anything to add?
It's been pretty interesting to watch Rumors since he swapped to Cody, because he had played or dabbled with a few characters while he was maining Birdie, but he never really played a more conventional character as far as ground game and normal. So I like where I've seen his improvements in sort of keeping his space and looking to whiff punish.
definitely.
I think he
100%.
has a bit more room to grow, definitely in that area, but
Yeah, 100% as well.
I'm liking how, and his preparation has been pretty good from what I've been watching. I caught his stream last night, and he was fighting a whole bunch of Akumas. So I think he'll definitely be prepared for Panda, but we'll have to see how well he can cope with Panda's game plan.
I will say something that I won't reveal who it was, but when I was in Sydney, people were kind of talking about Rumors as a one-character wonder, and if he ever had to switch off, he wouldn't be the same player. And I think most of this year has proved otherwise. Yeah,
No,
Yeah, I
they
reckon
were
they
wrong.
got blown up.
I think they said that because of his fang. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And,
man.
I played all these like wacky ults at BKB. It was like
Bro, the
Colleen for a
V-Trigger,
week.
The
It
V-Trigger
was
2 Laura.
Sakura in there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What is going on?"
but
Well,
I
the
do
thing
think
is-
Cody fits him.
He does. Well, the thing is, the only reason he ever played Laura was because he thought Laura's sway
Oh my god,
was
Laura
the sickest thing in the
Yeah,
world. And then they just gave it to Cody as a regular
Yeah.
move. It was like, it's just like crack for him. Like, he's just hooked from day one.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
hitting all of you right now. Who do you think is your favorite to win this particular matchup? Panda or Rumors?
I'm going to have to definitely go with Panda on this one, just because of how dominant he's been, and he's
Score?
not going to be messing around. And he is, like, Rumors obviously very good, like better in long sets, but so is Panda.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard.
How do you feel, Shem?
I think it might be closer than some people may think. Rumors is definitely I feel like he knows exactly what Panda wants to do, but he hadn't quite found the answers to stop him. So I think coming into this final, he'll be much more prepared. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to final game, final round.
Yeah.
That's not an answer. That's sense. That's
Well,
fence sitting right now.
Final
No,
game,
it
final
makes
round
sense.
to Panda.
So 3-2 Panda for you,
Yeah.
Tom.
I'd say that Panda is definitely the favorite. Purely due to form, and then obviously rumor swapping characters and stuff like that. But I gotta stick with the fam. Both on the Cody front and on the knowing rumors for a long time front. I reckon
On the Cody front while maining Zeku. Okay.
Hey. Yeah, fair. Yeah. No, I think that the Cody is ready now. I think it's just hitting the point where, like it's hit the point just very recently where it's at where the birdie was. And I think if he's ever going to beat Panda, it's going to be now. So I'm going to go with Rumors. And I reckon it'll be 3-2 as well.
Nez, did you have a score?
It'll be 3-2 or 3-1. It won't be a 3-0 either way. That's for sure. That's as specific as I can get, really.
I think someone's going to go back to character select, and I think it's going to be 3-2 for shoot.
Ooh.
I feel like I've talked myself into maybe going for Rumors. I almost want to. I was going to say 3-2 Panda, so I think we're all. Tom's being outvoted. It's going to be Panda.
Can't wait till you're all wrong.
We'll see.
I'll be happy to be wrong. Good. Be a great
as we jump into our next segment, it's actually been a fantastic 2 months of competition. Thank you very much for joining us and for playing each week. We have a very special little compilation. Enjoy.
I don't think he's good, but he's very close. Oh, maybe he is. Oh my!
I like to watch his feet.
Great block.
This plus. Whoa! Got it!
Oh,
He's
boy,
EX.
This is such an important round.
Oh my God. In his face! One more for stun!
Oh, I knew it. He's dead. Dead. Super.
Show me something special.
Oh no! Oh, it hit! Oh my God! The bear?
Alright, be cool.
Charlie wants to do this without wasting meter. He will.
Oh, smart. That's the one to work.
He doesn't look like he has to. Wow. See?
No.
Tried to trick him.
Wise. No, he's messed up.
He can cancel! Don't forget he can cancel! What the hell? What? What? Wow, she's gonna go tire instead of. Oh! Okay. Oh my God. This is gonna work so well. One more. I believe it's come to that! Yeah. ROF gladly takes the throw. Whoa, wow! What? No way! No way!
Oh, it's looking so bad.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Right. Looking for the activate here.
Oh!
Definitely that V skill one. What a flow combo!
Oh my gosh!
Damn.
Yeah, Som is all over it now. Look at this.
And he's hitting him with the infinite! He's hitting him with the infinite! Oh, here comes a Twitter clip.
Oh, that jump could beat it.
Can't see jump.
Oh my God! He gets those jumps. Oh no, one minute.
Oh, he got it! He got it!
That really knows when to turn up the heat. Large life lead, no risk. That's
Baby! Huge retribution. No, not yet. Oh, that did so much damage.
Yeah.
Whoa! Making sure that we have some clips of the highlight reel.
to be because of the angle.
Oh, let's go! You got the unblockable setup. Whoa!
Oh God!
Way back to base.
Another activate.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, I like it. That was so smart.
The time. Ooh, that's it!
Oh.
Damn, no! And this is it. Unblockable.
Yep. Nick, you can get it again with it. Nothing but.
I would like to apologize personally to Ungreech.
Yeah, you got blown up a lot.
We kind of did him dirty there a little bit. I didn't realize.
For someone who was like a real breakout and like actually performed really, really well in a bunch of tournaments, he sure got blown up, huh?
Yeah.
But you can blame Case for that. Big thank you to him, though, for putting that together for us. I hope you all enjoyed it. I've watched it about 6 times because I can't believe how good of a season we've had in our first time. Australian Street Fighter, it's pretty good. It's pretty sick.
It's almost like
time
we're
now.
really good.
Time now to look at our second matchup, starting with a man who will just not go away. It's Dark-Sided Somniac.
His old ways, playing very, very effectively defensive. There we go.
Trade still works out for him, doesn't it? Oh, got it.
This is big damage. Big damage.
Big life lead and a button.
Watch out, watch his stun.
Keep it high. Does it? That's it.
And the stun.
Oh my goodness. 1. It stays on top. He wants to win this now. He'll let it go.
He will. He is a very disciplined player, and he knows how absurdly far ahead he is right now.
Whoa! Dashing through the kunai. Gosh, I'm surprised by Tom.
Okay. Plus.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe he pressed it. But it was perfectly timed. Worked out.
My goodness.
If there has been one constant, I guess, in the OCE region, I feel like Somniac's been at the top for a very, very long time. And I'm joined by 3 Melbourne people on the panel today. So you guys would have been around Somniac for a very long time. Why do you think he's been, even though he's been through so many Street Fighters and he's been in the scene for so long, why is he still at the top level that he's able to?
Just consistency, man. It's literally just consistency and a good work ethic. Just sticking to his guns and continuing to work hard and keep grinding and, you know, always take every loss at face value and there's something to learn and all that sort of stuff, man. It's just to have that kind of longevity, you have to have a very good mindset for improving. And also commitment, which he's played Bison that whole time. He thought about dropping Bison at the end of season 1. He said if Bison didn't get buffed, he wasn't going to play him anymore. But he got buffed to high hell. So he's been a Bison man for a long time. So
I can't. I mean, even when I first entered Street Fighter, which would have been 2014, 2015, Somniac's always been like one of the players that I would see. Oh, it's kind of mysterious online. You kind of maybe if you see him, and now he's been a great representative and ambassador.
For a long
overseas
time.
in the international scene. So
yeah,
I feel like, and I think I talked to someone about this when I was at BAM, may have been last year, and they talked about. He thinks there is a lot of players that have more talent than Somniac, but none of them will ever reach that level that he's at because they just won't try as hard. They just won't put in that much work that you just said.
Yeah, it's a commitment, man. It's the ability to put that time in, day out, and properly dedicate yourself to improving. Because that's hard, man. Like we're like all of us here, right? Like play the game a lot and want to improve, but there's a clear difference between us and the people that you see in these top 8s every week, like Som, who's been doing it for so long, because they just have that additional work ethic and that additional motivation.
Something I've talked about on stream when I've been commentating a couple of times is there's been a distinct difference from when Somniac is in front in a match and when he's behind. Is there a concern that his clutch factor may not be as good as some of the other people in this bracket?
I think that what he'd probably tell you is that Bison is bad at closing out rounds because he has no real offense, or he has no like offensive threats other than.
Oh, you could tell that to Ghost Chips, though. I mean,
but,
he has plenty of highlights.
Oh yeah, it's. I don't think that's realistically the case. It happens. Everybody gets that pixel life lead and then throws games occasionally. Personally, I've watched Som win a lot more games than I've watched him lose. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm not sure how much validity there would be to that, but I guess we'll just have to see tomorrow. If he can't close out that third game of a set, then you'll be 100% right, Krisna. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I think the thing that I think me and Nezs noticed, I think it would have been week 1 or week 2, was when Som's at 70% life lead, or not even that, maybe like 60%, 50 or 60%, and he can just sit.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's in a spa. He's
That's when he's at his
so
scariest,
relaxed.
man. That's when he's at his scariest, when he feels like he doesn't have to do anything.
I mean, even in that intro clip, he had like a 90% lead on CO, backed off, and closed it very safely, incredibly safely.
Now, that can be his downfall, though, from talking to other players, is that playing it safe almost plays it safe to a fault at times, which probably could be why he struggled to close out rounds sometimes. Because I've had a couple of people say that to me, that the way to get through it is to always expect a safe option.
So if I think about some of the people that might be in this bracket as well, say someone like a Travis Styles, for instance, who's also pretty defensive. If one of those players gets like a little bit of a life lead on him, I feel like it's much harder for him to do back what they can do. Which is why I kind of think that we often see him in the top 3. Top 3 is great. Like, I'm not complaining if you're getting top 3. But I feel like there's always that last hump that sometimes he can dominate and he can get over it really easily. And other times it kind of stops and he kind of runs out of momentum and he runs out of ideas. I'm not sure. I feel like Shen and Nezs probably would have faced off against him a lot more to get some insight, but
yeah. I feel like one of the things you have to realize about Somniac is that a lot of the top players right now weren't the top players when 5 came out, let alone 4. It took, some of them got there pretty quickly, but Som was always there, and he's been there the whole time, which makes him one of the most researched players in the country.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
not the most researched player in the country, because there's been so many times where he's been the guy to beat, and people will watch their replays. They'll watch his games with other people. He's been studied a lot by all the top Australian players, maybe more so than any other Australian player, if you consider the whole lifespan of the game.
I'd say definitely. Even with him maybe not coming into this as the favourite just because other people have been on hotter form, I'd say he's probably still up there with the most research just because of that status of being around so long. Like, I feel like a lot of people feel like there is more weight to beating someone like Somniac than there would be to beating other guys in this bracket, which, the validity of that is, questionable, of course, because all these guys are obviously the best in the country, no matter how you split it. But just that longevity, I think, puts a target on your back as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, Nez, it kind of makes his achievements even more rousing, because obviously, if you're that studied and people know when they're going in exactly what's going to happen, and you still lose, I think that says a lot about Somniac.
The level of the caliber of the player.
Well, Som's going to be playing a very familiar matchup. Hold tight, because Peter's on his way. Here's Rups. They are. Plus, it's Saturday, so it's fine.
And lockdown. Half lockdown.
Oh my days!
Look, he's feeling himself.
This is so new. I've never seen Rups like this!
Is Ghost Ship gonna get to play anytime soon?
Rups already! Takes the plus at least.
Oh my god.
Nah.
I honestly couldn't tell you if he even had his hands on the controller. That's how little input he got to do in that round. My god.
Sorry, I got the giggles. I love that clip so much. I probably watched it like 2 or 3 times. Every time I watch Rups and UNGA, I'm just like, I want to go back and play more Mika. Like, I want to do that as well. And it never works out the same, but
No, not quite.
no.
The thing that amazes me about that clip with Rups is that it looked like there was not a single point in that entire round where he wasn't either dashing or pressing a button.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally, that was like the highest APM possible.
You're playing StarCraft, man. You're going to press that many buttons. Jeez.
That's great.
I feel like every single week, and we have Freezer and Bao, and they can back me up on this, there's always a Rups highlight somewhere. There's always like the drop kick versus ROF, the in-your-face stand heavy kick as well versus Somniac. Like, every single week, there's like another highlight. And I don't think anyone, if tournaments are supposed to be about having fun. I don't think anyone ever embodies that more than Rups does.
Yeah, I think the way Sio explained it to me a while ago was why I think that he ends up being such a highlight reel maker is the dude just isn't afraid. Like, he could be at like a 90% life deficit and he'll just walk forwards. Like, he just walks at you. And you're like, dude, if I hit you with one button, you lose. But he just holds forwards. And these like fearless situations lead to him being able to create these clips. And he does the same thing with Abigail because Abigail's got the health. And then he's the only V-Trigger 2 Nash player in the world. So he's the only person using that. So every time he lands it, it's a highlight. But no, it's always great watching Rups. And he's always in that top caliber of player as well.
I feel like I don't know if you would agree, Nez, but I feel like out of all the players in this top 8, he probably has the least amount of pressure coming into tomorrow. I don't think not that he won't take the game seriously, but I feel like he probably has the least expectation for himself. I think he just wants to go in, do his best, have fun, and see what kind of comes out the other end. And that could be a help or it could be a hindrance. I'm not sure what you guys.
Yeah, I think it's a help. I mean, that's how he always is. Even in tournaments, he's just having fun. He's one of maybe my favorite person that I've ever played casuals with at CCH. Because whenever we're playing, we're just talking and laughing about whatever and letting animations play out and all that dumb stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I know situations around the Gfinity era where people were actively trying to sponsor him. And he was knocking them back because he's like, I don't want it. He's like, I don't want the pressure. He's like, I don't want the pressure. I just play to have fun.
Yeah, I respect that.
These guys probably would have played a lot in Melbourne. Is there anything to talk about in that matchup, do you think? Somniac and Rups?
Mika Bison's super explosive. Super explosive. It's going to go
one way or the other.
Yeah. It's going to be, usually it ends up being along the lines of whoever gets a good clean hit first. And then it's just go. Obviously, with someone playing slower, might be a little bit less high octane, but it's definitely super momentum heavy.
Has Rups ever used a different character in that matchup?
Not that I'm aware of.
Probably in casuals, but I don't know about in a tournament game.
I never knew what he thought about Bison Mika. He said something interesting to me at it would have been Brisbane, I think, at Sunny Side Up, and he said every character in the game has the ability to zone Mika to some extent. It's just a question of how well and do they know.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. It's like Laura and to an extent Honda as well. They're characters that a lot of characters can zone, even if they aren't that great zoners.
Yeah. No, but buttons are the best form of zoning in Street Fighter V, not fireballs. So it tends to be characters with good buttons can zone with those long range pokes.
All right, Shen, you've been pretty quiet. I'm going to ask you for your prediction first. And the score, please.
I think Somniac will take this one comfortably. Rups it's easy to overlook how skillful he is. But Somniac plays in a particular way that seems to shut down Rups. I think earlier in the season, Rups had the better of him, but since then, Somniac's been back to knowing exactly how to stop him from doing what he wants. So I'd say either 3-1 or 3-0 to Somniac.
Oof. Big one there. Nez?
I actually think that Rups is going to win.
Whoa.
I think that he's going to win 3-1 or 3-2. It's hard to say. I thought about it a lot, and I don't know. It's hard to bet against some, regardless of who he was playing against, but I really do think Rups is going to win this one, and I'll have more to say about him later on, actually.
Tom, tiebreaker.
I reckon Som will take it 3-1, personally.
So you think comfortably as well?
Yeah, I've watched these two play a lot, and as Chen said, Som has a very good way of controlling Rups, as much as I love the Sheriff. I don't. It's going to be. I want to be wrong, but I think that it'll be 3-1 Song.
You're all wrong. It's 3-2 Rups. And I'm sticking by it.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good.
Let's go. Okay. Well, thanks to a lot of very generous people. We've been overwhelmed with the prize pool this season. We actually weren't sure what to do with it. It's actually currently sitting at 945, I believe.
Oh, Jesus.
And we've actually been slowly showing it off on Twitter over this week. But right now, we can reveal to you the prize pool in its entirety. And hopefully it's on screen, which Anthony's put up already. Like I said before, we're already reached past the $800 mark. So a PS4 game will be up for each of our top 4 finalists. We also have a giveaway to the people. If you've entered UNGA in this competition, you are up in that past giveaway as well. The travel backpack for tomorrow night will be the best highlight of the night. And Ruffs is probably in a good position, if not to win the tournament, to at least earn that backpack. So
Definitely, man.
we've actually reached past 800. So all of our finalists get the CPT pass. We're almost there to get that Obsidian, thanks to Quamba Gaming, and a very special one. If we reach to our $1,200 mark, is I think a lot of people would know about Richard and his work over in Indonesia. He does a lot of really nice artworks, and we've gone in contact with him. And if we can reach our prize pool goal, there's a chance we can get that for our season champion. So very, very exciting stuff. Plus another giveaway, $50 Steam gift card. I don't think I'm allowed to be in that competition, but that's okay.
Sadness. Hey, I entered a tournament. I should be up for it.
I think you get to it as support staff anyway.
Yeah.
Right now, geez, I was so thrown off by that time. Right now, we've got to literally head over to the west side for probably the best player in Australia, if you ask me, Travis Styles.
Yeah, definitely. Back to the wall now.
Oh, and he keeps getting hit. Oh, no.
Amo! Oh, again! Damn.
All right. That's a message. And it's good to get a message like that out early in the set, because he's going to be thinking about that for any other time he gets put in the same situation.
Damn. Deimos special? But twice? One more and you got a 3-course meal. Oh, nice. Look at that corner position.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 3-piece. Let's go.
He's using the whole game as a message, not just that one mix-up. Oh, if he did it again, I swear.
Oh, here we go. BK fighting back.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good V reversal. Oh. I would have thought it'd get clipped.
Oh, that was so smart. You see how he blew that? He deliberately kept pressing into the Aegis so that he couldn't get the side swap mix-up on him.
Very, very smart.
I'm so glad I picked that clip. Get wrecked, BK.
Only ever reversal headbutt. Never wake up. Never wake up.
I only do it when it works, bro. I only do it when it works. Once a week. Dude, I'm going to go on a slight tangent, but when I came back from Sydney, holy crap, my playstyle changed a lot. I became so scrambly and so dash heavy. It was so annoying. I had to eke it out of my system. Anyway.
That's the Sydney style.
We're not talking about Sydney. We're going to talk about Travis, the guy who blew him up. Has it... It's hard for me. Well, I did a top 5 earlier in the... I don't know. I think it was earlier in this year on who I thought the top 5 in our region was. And I think I put Travis pretty head and shoulders and pretty comfortably in first place. And I feel like he's may have been there for quite a while now.
I'd say so.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
I think in terms of total package, I don't think there's anyone that's better than Travis at the moment. The only person that might contest it is Panda. The rough part is that there's no offline events for us to really, see the two play each other in an offline setting again. They did play for the finals of the Path to Evo.
Path to Evo, yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was very close, wasn't it?
I actually don't think so. I think Travis kind of rolled him over. And
Yeah,
Panda got some good got some good rounds, and I think he might have gotten the game. But I never reached a point where I thought Travis was in trouble.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of that when I watch him, where I never think he's in trouble. He never feels like he's panicking.
Always seems very composed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which I don't see. Oh, go ahead.
No, it lends to his character choice. His character choices promote that sort of play style that is him never looking too stressed or, pressed about things, because he plays two very ground heavy characters that can control the tempo really, really well. With Balrog obviously being the staple for a long time, and now Chun coming back, now that she's been buffed a bunch.
Well, you've just brought that up because, unlike Rumors that we talked about earlier in the Chun switch wasn't really... He's always had a Chun.
Yeah, he played Chun.
He's never really played it in competition, but apart from season 1. But it's mainly been Balrog from most of the time, and now we get to see a little bit of Chun, and it's not... Yeah. It's not a slouch.
No, it's super strong. It's just as strong as his Balrog. I think it's just literally a per matchup basis. Balrog has a couple of clunkers that Chun has a couple of clunkers that Balrog can then work into as well. It's a sort of interesting character duo choice, but it works out really, really well for what Travis wants to do.
Because I know one of the issues, we would have seen him last year at, was it C Major? I think a couple of you guys were at, where he had to face against Fudo, who just won the tournament.
Oh, he got
rolled over.
But Mika Balrog is not good.
No.
That is a nightmare matchup. I don't think would I be correct in saying that Mika's his most hated character? I think it is from memory, I think.
Yeah, you might be right.
I wouldn't go against it.
From what I remember him talking about it, I think he hates Mika with a passion, which would make sense because it's an awful, awful matchup. So being able to swap back to Chun. Travis used to just be a tier enthusiast because he'd just play whoever was best. And he picked up Balrog because in season 2, the character was just absurd. And then
the tap? Yeah.
And then he just ended up sticking with Balrog for whatever reason. And now it's back to... Now he's back to the Chun, and it works out really well, I'd say.
Well, I had an interesting conversation with Travis when I went to do the Wild West, and I was on commentary with him. And he was explaining to me his thought process of especially people that continually change characters. You had a lot of people that tried to fix a lot of problems by choosing a different matchup. And he was trying to tell me, like, he sees things that Brian F does, or he sees things that Smug did that he didn't do. And so, like, well, clearly they know something that I don't know. So I have to put out, I have to do something. I have to copy them, basically. I don't need to, the onus is on me to work it out and not just like panic switch, which I think a lot of people in Australia were doing at the time.
Yeah. Everybody had a pocket. But that's just because Street Fighter V lends itself to that. It's a lot easier to pick a pocket because picking up characters isn't too difficult in this game. So for a lot of people, it can just be easier to pick a pocket that plays the matchup better instead of learning said matchup.
Nez, do you think Travis's experience in other competitive games, he's talked to me about StarCraft 2 a lot, a game that we both enjoyed, and he plays a lot of different competitive games at a high level. Do you think that kind of the way that you kind of approach new challenges and that, do you think it's helped him like a lot on this road to be the best player in Australia, basically?
Yeah, it's not just other competitive games either. I think it's lifestyle choices. If you look at how fit and athletic he is, he's someone that is very goal orientated and works really hard. And it feels like everything I know that he does, like he's, studying, he's really fit, he's really good, he's like always playing Street Fighter, like, researching people. And I think it's just like a kind of lifestyle and personality that lends itself well to being successful.
It's that work ethic, man. Like we were saying with Som, it's the ability to dedicate yourself, man. It's huge.
That's exactly it.
So we're going to talk about CO in a little bit, but I wanted to ask you, Shen, if you thought Travis would go Rog or Chun, because I think most of the time he's gone Chun first and then Rog maybe as an afterthought.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this week because I think if he wants to go all out to win, I feel like he's going to pick Balrog all the way through.
I think
But-
he wants to pick Chun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he also knows that Sio doesn't like Chun, so that may be a factor in picking her against him. But I'm leaning more towards he's going to play Balrog for pretty much every match.
Do you think that's kind of the way, a little bit in the way ZG might play, where even if it's a better matchup, it's a better player matchup in a sense that you know that well, in this case, it may be Balrog versus Ibuki, for instance. Do you think he's more comfortable with that than Chanabuki? Even if Chanabuki might be a better character matchup, he might know Sio's Ibuki better.
I don't recall if they've played that matchup together, or I don't really recall him playing against Ibuki with Chun-Li. But
they would have come across each other in ranked, but nothing that we would have seen.
Yeah, it's not something I've seen. But I think if he picked Chun, he's obviously going to have prepared for that matchup in particular.
Yeah.
So if whoever he decides to pick, I expect him to show that he knows what to do in the matchup.
Well, we're going to have a look at Cio just in a bit. He has different hats on throughout the week. Sometimes he's a tournament organizer. Sometimes he's a Grand Blue player. This week, he's in SF5.
That could be the biggest mistake of his
It's an
life.
interesting risk. Another grab. One more. Tries for cross up. Interesting. Into delay tech. Maybe trying to sense an EXDP.
He's given up on the stun.
Give up on the corner as well. This is dangerous. Good V reversal though. A lot less scary with mid screen.
Oh, that was good.
Cio, show me some magic.
Oh boy.
That's a good start.
Really needs a good activate here.
Yeah.
And even then, it's going to be hard to make this comeback.
He'll need two. That's good though.
No kunai, even if he gets his mix.
One more. Oh! Yeah, not quite.
Oh boy.
He's given Panda trigger again as well. Oh,
Tournament
one life
on the line.
Next hit. Oh,
Over the fireball.
Beautiful.
Alright. And Sierra, as we were saying before the game started, very good at taking out the best of the best.
Sorry. Our production got a little bit confused about how long that comeback was taking. Sorry, Will. I won't throw you under the bus again for the rest of the night. But so the thing about Cio that I've always loved in talking to Taylor is I don't feel like even if he's playing someone that he knows he can beat, or if he's playing against someone who's, definitely favored against him, his confidence levels are super, super high.
Oh,
he loves that challenge. He thrives in it.
Yeah. Taylor, I think, always considers himself an underdog a little bit. But I think that just drives his work ethic because he always plays with a chip on his shoulder. Everything he does. I've played him a lot. And honestly, the improvement in the last 18 months, because he was a little bit behind these guys probably about a year ago. But he really, really dedicated and has jumped up, and now he's probably on the tail end of this group, but that's just because he hasn't proved himself at offline events quite as much as say your Travis or Som or whoever. But definitely in terms of at least performing online is just as good as all these guys here.
Well, I think that performance that you were hinting at, I think that thing really changed when people finally pushed him as the best Ibuki in Australia instead of Bug.
He wanted that for a long time. Yeah, he wanted that for a long time. And I remember he won. It was after BAM, they ran a set and he washed him pretty clean. And then he was like, yep, all right, I'm the best Ibuki now. Now it's time for me to push to be the best player, not just the best character player, which is something that he's always striving for. Super competitive guy.
Nezs, something that you and I talk about often, especially when he has matchups against people like Somniac, is he can be a bit of a poison. He can be a bit of an assassin. Actually, this goes back to even all the way back to when I was at Gfinity.
Yeah.
And yeah, people were kind of saying, haha, first to one Ibuki, but he was taking names on a regular basis, and he became a pretty core member of that team because of it.
Oh yeah, very important member. They did really well as well. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not ignoring pressure, but he works well under pressure.
Yeah.
And the idea of playing people like Som, especially, that's the most notable one that we see a lot of history there. It's just, I don't know. People aren't prepared for it. People aren't prepared for what he brings to the table a lot of the time. And he's really optimized this play.
I don't think I see more tech out of anyone else in OCE than Taylor.
He's always grinding, man. He's like, when you talk about that work ethic,
I feel like he jumped on that V skill too super quick when it dropped.
He did.
Oh,
I kept telling him it was garbage, and then he kept telling me to shut up. And then very quickly he showed me that I was in fact wrong. But it's that work ethic, man. Like, he was telling me the other day that on the train home from work, he was on SFV Sim looking up frame data, and he built a setup on the train without the game.
Without the game?
Yeah, he didn't even have the game in front of him, and he built a setup.
That's how? That's insane.
I said it like if people are asking like, how do you even use SFV Sim? Well, you got to be a wizard to do it, but if you can understand it, then like, see, there he is in the chat. It works too. See, it's that work ethic, and that's why he has caught up. Is because he has that work ethic, and the only thing that ever kills him is actually the confidence in being overconfident and not respecting people enough. Which he's gotten a lot better at as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good problem to have.
It is. Yeah, in terms of like not getting nervous. Of course he gets nervous, but in terms of overconfident. What is it, that quote from Darkest Dungeon? It's like, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
That's it. Yep, that's the quote.
It's with Xiao, it's that and patience. The thing that gets him killed is his own lack of patience at times. He very well knows it as well. Things slow down, stagnate a bit. He feels like he's running out of options. He will jump, and that's a habit he's had since day one. But it's just about controlling that and controlling his ability to play slow. When he tries to play fast and tries to force the issue too much, that's when he loses.
I mean, I think at least you hinted at the consistency now that he's developed over the last 8 or 12 months. We saw that at All Warmed Up. We've seen it now in UNGA. I think that puts him in really good stead.
Yeah.
Is that enough for Travis, though? Because I think one of the reasons why maybe a few of us put Travis above people like ROF or Somniac is that Travis doesn't seem to have a poison. He doesn't have an assassin that constantly snipes him in bracket. Is Sia supposed to be that person? Can he be that person?
He's very good at rising to challenges. So he probably will enjoy the fact that he's being labelled an underdog here, or he'll be angry about it. I'm sure I'll get told in about now. But no, I'd look. Is this the part where we go to
our prediction?
Yeah. Again, Travis is obviously favorite in terms of like if you look at seeding and past results and stuff like that. But I reckon he can do it. It'll be I reckon 3-2 Xiao.
Whoa. Okay. Shen?
I'll be keen to see if Xiao is nervous at all, if it shows in his game plan. Because in the past, he's told me how much he respects Travis and how he's actually one of the scariest for him to fight in tournament or just even online. So, depending on how well he's executing whatever game plan he comes in with, I think he could take 1 or 2 games, but Travis is likely to take it. For me, I think 3-1 Travis.
I think you just brought up something interesting there. When you start to idolize someone that you're about to verse, sometimes it can make you do things or not do things, actually, that you would do against every other player.
Treat them with too much respect.
Yeah.
I don't see that being a trouble for Xiao.
No, I don't either. I think he'll be able to go into it and play as hard as possible, but I think Travis is just for me, he's the safest pick as our best player at the moment. So it's a tough ask.
It's hard to not go with your best in the region when you're looking at predictions.
Yeah.
Nez, up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Schenkhan. I think assuming Balrog into Ibuki, it will be 3-1 the way of Travis. But Chun probably the same-ish, maybe 3-2. But I'm not sure how I would feel about if he played any games as Poison.
CO as Poison. We didn't actually got it to. I mean, CO
I don't
has
know
some
the
holds.
matchup at all. If that's good for either Chun or Rog or bad, but I think his Poison's very, very good, and I feel like
it is. It's
there's a
probably
lot
the
of
best in the
character
region.
knowledge. Yeah, there's a lot of like lacking character knowledge for characters that are new, like Poison. So
I didn't think about that actually.
Would you play it into Travis though? Poison.
I don't know. I really don't know enough about the character.
I'm not
to
sure
even know like if it's a good idea or not. But if there are games in there, I become a lot more unsure about how they're going to go. But assuming Balrog Ibuki, I think it'll be 3-1.
What I'm sensing
Travis.
here is that we're pretty comfortable with calling it 3-2 in some direction. Like it'll be close, but we're saying that Travis might have an edge.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I guess that's what happens when you're the best in the region. You've sort
Yeah.
of
You know,
got
it's
that-
funny. It's
got
funny.
that
I feel
edge.
like if Travis never went offline and we only saw him online, and because he's in Perth, so a lot of people lag to him. People are like, that online bison, man. Oh, can't handle it. Damn boxes everywhere. All right. Before we go any further, we have one more announcement for tonight. We can actually reveal to you the date of our season 2 start. We're going to squeeze one in before the end of this year. And because of that, it actually starts really soon, in about 2 weeks. Friday, 11th of September. Registrations are now open. If Shannon's actually done that on Challenge, which I believe he has, but
I have.
we have
So,
started that
yeah.
already. And
I will
thankfully,
throw the
all our
link in the
sponsors
chat.
from season 1 are already back on board
That one.
to take us out with the rest of this year. So thank you very much to all of them. Time now goes to our very last matchup to talk about. It's going to be, and we're going to start with probably the hero in All Warmed Up before we started, and that's Genuine Gaming's Space Ghost.
Round 1. Fight.
Space Ghost going to tie it up. CO's going to tie it up. 1-0.
Here we go.
Space Ghost guessing correctly on where that whip was going.
Oh,
Wow.
that's yeah.
I totally forgot he had that as an here.
Nice. Catch
Did he
it.
kill?
That
Oh,
is done. Oh no. You got.
interesting he doesn't go for the knees. Oh, he's done.
Oh boy. Oh.
So Xavier's a bit of an interesting case, I feel like, throughout this UNGA. Like I said in the pre-intro, he had the best of the All Warmed Up series.
Yeah, he
Run
was
on
winning
WP.
like all of those, man.
Not just those, actually. Or actually, there was 8 weeks. He was in the top 8 for every week. He won half of them.
Yeah. The improvement was just unreal, man. It was funny, like I think CO has sang his praises a lot for Space Ghost and the way Space Ghost has improved in the last 6 months. It's a shame. Again, it's a shame there's no offline events because it'd be really cool to see this new final form Xavier rock up to an offline tournament and see how he fares.
Something that I've always, there's a fly in my face, something that I've always thought about Xavier when I was in Sydney and he was basically living at BKB.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like him and Duke were there at BKB every Wednesday, every Friday for hours, and you just play a first to death until the night's out and they kick you out. And the one thing that I've always noticed about, and a little bit similar to what we were talking about with Somniac earlier in the night, I think there are a lot of players that feel they're better than Space Ghost, and maybe they have more talent than Space Ghost, but I don't think I've seen a player with, if your skill ceiling is this high and your skill floor is this high, Xavier's is so squished together. That's how consistent it feels like.
Yeah, rock
I feel
solid,
like-
man.
I feel like there's some players that maybe they can get up here, but because their floor is this low, they're losing more times to him than they're winning.
Definitely. Rock solid would be the way that I'd explain Space Ghost, man. Like Space Ghost on a bad night can still beat people on a good night. He's like the man's like the embodiment of Guile. like just super duper rock solid. An option for has great options for everything, and is also very good in long sets as well. Super good. The man adapts extremely well. Sio talks about it a lot on Danger House, especially when Space Ghost was on.
That run,
which he did win a couple, yeah.
I think it was 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, something like that. Yeah.
It's the ability to adapt and change mix up his defensive options, which is the scariest part, personally, I think. It's not even the offense part. It's the fact that it's hard to track down what he wants to do on defense. That's super strong.
I feel like it might surprise some people that Space Ghost didn't appear in the top 8 for UNGA that often. He was normally about 9th.
Yeah.
Or so, but it was every week.
Yeah.
I think he may have missed one due to some connection issues, but every time he plays, it's always at a really high level. He'll beat the people that he's supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Unless like they're on a tear for one night. And I think that's a testament to the kind of practice that he puts in.
Definitely. Really humble guy too. Super good work ethic and really good approach to everything. Just wants to learn. And another guy that I think he definitely gets nervous. I remember talking to him about it at Danger House, but he has a very good control of that because he's just like, I'm here to learn and have fun.
Nez, how much is a hitbox helping?
Hitbox Guile, bro.
I think it's great.
We're about to talk about a Guile, and there's still the exclamation mark Guile to get your readout. So
no,
I have to ask you.
I think that Tom was right. Tom stole my bit, actually, unintentionally, of course. Space Ghost, very good long sets, and it's not only that. I think Guile is maybe the best long set character in the game. Maybe there's one or two others I'm not remembering, but I always see him as a long set character. I don't know if we see that
because Daigo always does well in long sets as well, or maybe it is the character. I think you might be right.
Yeah, but he's got like I think this is like we said, he has not been performing as well as he did in the preseason, but I think considering all these games, the first of 3, I think this is his time to shine if he's going to do so this season. Definitely. I think this is going to be probably his best showing.
Well, coming into UNGA, he would have been very highly studied as well because he was just winning all of those online tournaments.
I mean, he was winning things outside of WP tournaments. I think he won one of the New Zealand tournaments and a couple of the Catch Warriors ones as well. Is there anything for him to be careful of tomorrow, Shen, do you think?
For the first match against Ghost Chips, I'm not too sure. It really depends on how much Space Ghost will be applying the usual Guile zoning plan against Bison, because it's not too easy to do that when Bison has quite a few answers. And I know from playing Somniac, I've grown to really hate the matchup. Tom seems to know every answer and applies it at exactly the right time every time.
What kind of tools in particular in that matchup?
Being ready with EX Head Stomp for like when you want to. Bison can pretty comfortably read booms and zoning.
Timing. Yep.
Yeah. So if Ghost Chips is using EX Stomp well to get in, that's the key for Bison in the matchup to get in and keep applying his pressure.
Something else?
It can be...
Sorry, go on. No,
it's all right.
No, you were going to continue the point. I'm about to change it, so I need you to go on.
Okay. Well, I've lost what I was going to say now.
Damn.
I think it was just about keeping, like, it's not easy for Guile to zone Bison. So if Ghost Chips is ready to use Bison's options, then that'll make it extra hard for Space Ghost tomorrow. But we're not talking about who's going to win yet, so you go ahead now.
Well, it would be, quickly before we move on, Space Ghost is also a very good at preparing as well, I think. So I'd say it's a fairly safe assumption to know that he would have looked at all the options that Bison has and what his counters are to them. It's just going to be a matter of whether he can actually execute it.
So something that Xavier was working on a lot, especially at the early part of this year, was Guile's new V skill 2. And I feel like he's used it to very, very good effect. I think he was still discovering which matchups he wants to take, but it seems to be V-Skill 2 main, V-Skill 1 character dependent.
Mm.
If you were in Space Coast shoes, which way do you roll? Maybe V-Trigger as well, because I feel like you might want to V-Reversal a little bit more. And if you're having trouble with Boom, maybe VT2 isn't a bad pick.
I feel like having a 2-bar trigger against Bison is good.
Yeah, you can't go wrong in that front.
I feel like against Ghost Chips, Bison's even gooder.
Yeah, just because the ability to V-Reversal and then still activate is great. What do you think, Shen?
I think we'll see V-Trigger 2.
Yeah.
And probably VT2, V-Skill 2. The main reason for V-Trigger 2, I think, from Space Ghost lately is that it's very good against EX Head Stomp. It allows you to it has a better hitbox than the standard flash kick.
True.
So it can catch behind, and it helps to mitigate that option from Bison. So
can also do the raw activate for the freeze frame as well to recognize what options you've got.
Yep. Okay, well, we're going to get to predictions in a sec, but first we have to talk about our Kiwi representative, our lone Kiwi representative. It's Tenga Boys' Ghost Chips.
And just like that, final round of the final game.
Oh, that's so big. Corner 2?
Oh my god,
it's there.
you're not dead, but you might as well be. It's going to hurt so much. It's going to be so hard to come back from this. Oh, especially now.
Oh, no.
But
It's a Buki. It's a Buki.
Oh. Still a long way to go.
Still long. Yep.
No!
No!
Oh, that's
over.
Oh, man.
The cancel was the killer.
So, Ghost Chips, probably, I don't know if there's any other notable New Zealanders that are entered UNGA. It does run quite a bit later for them. I think it's like, if you make it to grand finals, it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. by that point. So I think all the work C word have gone to bed by that point. But if I feel like if Somniac is representing the last generation, we're talking about Ghost Chips representing the new generation, especially for our region.
Yeah, definitely, man. Is there anyone that has as much like upside like than Chips? like the homie's like what? Is he even 20 yet?
I don't think he's not out of high school yet.
No, it's like
no, he is.
He's out of high school.
I think he's 19 now.
Okay.
And he's been over international travel and beaten like Japanese
Goichi.
gods. Yep, beaten Goichi on stream. You know, like
watch that again.
You know, it's yeah. So I don't think there's anyone in our region that has as much upside as Chips does. Like it's terrifying to think how young he is, and he's cleaning up in multiple games. I saw Wowza saying that like give it a couple more weeks of practice and he'll be like top 5 in Tekken too.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was
so
trying other games out.
Yeah, he plays everything, man. So it's just unreal how like much I've said it before, but like how much upside there is long term for the guy. As long as he doesn't get buried in uni too much, because I know he's doing law, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That's a lot of late nights there. I think one of the things that is very telling about his character is obviously we're in the midst of a global pandemic at the moment, no offlines. And midway through our season, he gets picked up by an org. I think there's a lot of trust if you have in a player.
Yeah, the bold gang.
Yeah. To be picked up like that. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's just become the generation that's coming after us. Maybe not even in this game, maybe in the game following, and he's already this good in this game.
Yeah, I know. It's unreal to think about where it goes from here. Hey,
Nez, I want to talk a little bit about Ghost Chips' style. I feel like we always compare Somniac and Ghost Chips, and I kind of want to do it again. Like, what do you think it is about Ghost Chips is the way he plays and how he perceives the game?
I think it's hard to talk about. He's like, I always, since I ever played against people from New Zealand, I've always thought he was the best player from there. Yeah, when I saw him again, because I didn't see him play for a long time, maybe like I couldn't say maybe half a year, but when I saw him start playing again a couple of months ago, it was unreal. I think he's like 5 levels up, and I already thought he was the best there, and he's just like a legit monster. So I feel sorry for anyone that actually has to play against him, because he is so refined. And if you ever want to. If you ever want to see an example of how well he knows his character, watch any of his sets against Somniac that have been played over the past couple of months, and you will understand. You'll see a very big clash of styles, because they do play very differently, as was the original question, which I've kind of sidestepped over.
That's all right.
But there's so much character knowledge there of his own character, and it's so applicable across the spectrum. And I think he's just, like I said, I wouldn't want to run into him in this tournament. He's I think one of the scariest entrants for sure. And that probably makes him a bit nervous. I know he's had, trouble with pressure a long time ago now. It doesn't seem to anymore, but everyone does. It's just, you learn and you grow, and you learn to deal with it. And I think that the pressure's good for him.
Shen, I'd like to ask you this. What do you think he would need to get really far in this bracket tomorrow? There's a lot of really good players, and a lot of players that have been doing it a lot longer than he has. Is there something in particular that either he needs to stay on top of or needs to improve upon, in your eyes?
I wouldn't really say that he has much that he needs to change, really, from what he's been doing over the past 8 weeks. He's been very consistent. There was a patch where he made top 3, I think 3 weeks in a row, and he's always been in the top 8 when
I think his worst placing has been 5th, possibly. He hasn't taken out. I mean, he came second last week to BK's. Urian. Is that a concern that, like, obviously he's getting consistent finishes, but they're not. The next part isn't there yet. Not quite.
The only thing I notice in his play that would make a difference against these guys is a bit more composure when he's on the back foot.
Yeah, against the wall.
Yeah, there's times where he's a bit too rushed in trying to escape and reset to neutral, or just turn the table on his opponent.
Yeah,
and if he can stay composed more, I think he's got all he needs to make it far, and I think he's a pretty good chance to make it to at least top 4. So I'll be keen to see how the first set goes, but I'm looking forward to him in particular, because I think he's got a really strong chance tomorrow.
Yeah, just needs to keep that composure, and I think some very rarely can get a little bit impatient. But look, we're nitpicking here. We're definitely nitpicking.
What it sounds like, it's like all the in-game stuff, it's easy. It's done. It's already there. It's more mental side of the game.
Which is already, for someone as young as he is already ridiculous. Like, better than all of us at it.
Yeah. I mean, I said earlier that he has the least experience in this bracket, but he probably has more experience than most people.
I
mean, he's been to international. Pressure. I mean, obviously, like we talked about earlier, that on-stream match against GoIchi. I mean, I feel like that was a really big deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, who's this guy?" Like, it was It's I don't know what it is for Chips, like, because obviously there is something there that's stopping him from winning. He's getting all these consistent 3rd places, 4th places, 5th places, but I couldn't tell you what it is. It may well just needs to be the right day, and maybe tomorrow will be the right day for it. Okay,
the Battle of the Ghosts. Rumors of Ghosts doesn't exist anymore, so it's just Space Ghosts and Ghost Chips.
R.I.P.
Tom, I'll swing it with you first. Who's your pick?
I'm going to go Chips, and I'm going to call it 3-1. I reckon that Chips will have a good control over Space Ghost's pace and set the tone for the tempo of the game. Space Ghost is very good at adjusting, but I just think that Chips will run over him a little bit personally.
Nez, for you?
This is, I think, a very interesting round 1 game. I think Ghost Chips 3-1 or 3-2, but I will say I do think that Xavier can win. And if Xavier does win, or whoever wins this one, really, I think they're going to absolutely go on a killing spree. After whoever wins this first round. Because if Xavier wins this one against Ghost Chips, that means he's extremely on point for the day. And Ghost Chips is always on point. So if he goes through, I think he's just going to start taking names.
Yeah, it's like a huge confidence thing in forwards momentum.
Yeah.
Schenkhan?
It'll be interesting for me to see how well Ghost Chips is prepared for Guile. I feel like in the past he hasn't. Well, this is quite a while back when I've played against Ghost Chips. It's not quite the same. It doesn't quite play out the same way that it does when I verse, say, Somniac or other Bison players. So if in the early stages it looks like he's on top of Space Ghost as far as the usual Guile options, I think Ghost Chips will take it. But obviously, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I think Space Ghost will take it at 3-2.
I think you hit on something there. I think this matchup might end up being very momentum based. I think it might swing 3-1 in either direction. I'm probably going to say Chips. But he has to be on point.
Space Ghost does know his options in this matchup.
He does.
We've seen him play against Somniac a lot, and he has a lot of different ways of dealing with Devil's Reverse. It's just about if he can make the right reads in those situations, I think.
I think it's more. I still think for this matchup, it's more for Ghost Chips to lose. And I think he has to have a very high level going into this. Otherwise, I mean, Xavier's not going to give you an inch. He's just not. Like if you mess up or if you're just like a little bit late, it's not going to happen, and you're going to fall apart really quickly. So I'll still back Chips, but I think it might be close, and I think it's whoever. I think the first two games in this set will be the most telling.
Huge, yeah. Who can gain momentum?
We've come to the end of the night, and that only leaves one more thing, and that's going to be predictions for the entire bracket. So not just these first four games, but who do you think is going to win? I also want to get from you, who do you think might be the dark horse? Who do you think might come out and surprise people tomorrow night? So I'll get the overall winners first. So whoever I pick, I'll go with Nezs first. I don't think I have Nezs first.
Right, go for me last. Go me last. I got good ones. I got good ones.
Damn. He's got the. Gonna shock everyone. Got to put the clickbait at the end of the video.
All right, Tom, you want to volunteer then?
Who's gonna win the whole thing? It's a hard thing to say, man.
I feel like there's three names that instantly stand out in this field of 8. Sorry.
I don't know. Look, I'd say I think Panda is probably, in terms of form, the favorite to win. It'd be if I was a betting man, I'd pick Panda or I'd pick Travis. But personally, I think that it's not going to be one of those guys. I reckon that Chips is going to win the whole thing.
Whoa.
And I think that the person that's going to make the most damage in the bracket will probably be CO. That's my bet. So in case, I guess underdog sort of thing. I think someone that's going to make the most of a difference in terms of swaying the bracket and changing the way this tournament plays out or what people expect to play out will be CO.
Can I just ask why so much faith in Chips? I mean, like, he hasn't shown results so far that would suggest that he could, is all I would be saying. This would be it would be a major win if he could.
I think that if he gets through round one, like Nezs said, they'll go on a tear, and I do think he will. His second round lines up pretty decently, having either Rumors or Panda at that second spot. Both of those are definitely winnable matchups for Bison. I don't know. I just reckon that he's going to have a good night, and I reckon things will go his way.
Okay. That's fair. I wasn't trying to blow him up. Jeez. Shen, since Nezs wants to go last.
Okay, winners semi-finals.
Oh, okay.
This is where I'm looking at the bracket, and I think in the bottom half, if we see two particular players, the winner of that is going to win the whole thing, and that's Travis and Somniac. So
that's
if they make it,
the bracket.
Is it?
Oh, no, it's bottom side.
That's the bottom side.
That's
I
the
meant
bottom
like-
side.
As the skill
Of the winner's side, sorry.
Yeah.
The top,
like the harder side
the,
of the bracket. is
the
what I
bottom
meant.
half of the top side of winner's side. I'm just making it more confusing. Sorry.
All right.
If Travis and Somniac make it to winner's semis, I think the winner of that set is going to win the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Who would? Oh, I'm not gonna let you fence it on this last part.
Okay. I think Somniac will take it this time. Too
Over
many
Travis?
times he's fallen short against Travis. I think he wants it bad now.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm
agree.
surprised so far. Nez, it's your turn. I gave
All
you
right.
time.
Well, first, I'll be completely honest. If someone was like, "You best guess this right, or you're gonna die," I would pick Travis.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
he's not my pick. I'm just saying that if I was gonna die and I had to pick the right person, I would pick Travis.
Okay. How about
And
I'll
have
put it
to
to you this
mention
way.
Panda.
Turkish Bread is betting you credits in WP.
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
your
well
money
then,
on?
I'm telling you, I think that this is not my dark horse pick. This is my favorite to win. I think that Rups is gonna win.
Ooh, okay.
And my dark horse, who I feel like it's not even a dark horse, but it's close enough when you consider there's people like Travis and Som and such, is Ghost Chips.
I am shocked, honestly.
I'm telling
what's
you.
been picked so far. Like I was fully expecting 3 Travis Styles.
Nah.
was
I
honestly
mean, like
expecting
I
three
said,
Travises.
if I had to pick and if my life depended on it, good old reliable, he's the easy pick.
Yeah, that's like I said the same thing, man. If I was going with the safe bet of who is like, if we're looking at percentage chance odds of winning, Travis would probably have the highest percentage, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to play out that way. So
But yeah, I do believe in Rups. I think he's going to win as
Okay.
a primary pick.
Well, I like being right, so I'll say Travis is going to win the whole thing. You know who I really want to do really well in this tournament is Space Ghost, though.
Yeah.
would be cool. Would be cool.
I
It'd
feel
be really
like-
good.
Even if he loses that first round to Ghost Chips, I think he could be a loser bracket demon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think if one of these guys, especially the guys that might fall early, maybe they've lost a little bit of confidence in the set, then have to go against Xavier, that's a tough ask for
Yeah,
them.
it's a brick wall.
So I'm going to say my spark horse is going to be Space Ghost. I'm going to say Travis is going to win because it's... God, I hope nothing goes wrong and he wins. Otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. But that's fine because I always look like an idiot. That's why I'm on this show and Shen hired me, even though I don't get paid.
Yeah, when are we getting paid? By
No
Maybe we'll
comment.
have to ask our sponsors. Sponsor tonight, January. No, I'm not going to do that.
Ooh, what a segue! Damn. Okay, so Jam.
I'm not
Okay.
saying yeah. It's all right. We'll get there in the end. Big thank you to everyone for joining me tonight.
Yeah.
This has been really fun and interesting conversation. I don't really actually get to do this with even a lot of players. I can do it in chat. It mainly happens, but through voice, getting to actually talk through it all out, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this with all of you tonight.
Thank you.
Please
been
stay
really fun.
tuned. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we start. I think it's Tom and Alex off the bat. Gfinity
Yeah.
team is back together,
The
and
old
they'll
gang.
be taking it from the start for our season finals. I hope to see you all then. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care.
I don't think he's dead, but he's very close. Oh, maybe he's... Oh my...
I like to watch his feet.
Great block.
This plus. Whoa! Got it!
Oh,
Into
boy,
EX.
It's such an important round.
Oh
my
Shots it in his face! One more for stun!
Oh, I knew it.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew it. He's dead. Dead. Super.
Show me something special.
Oh, no. Oh, it hit. Oh, my God. The bear?
Right, be cool.
I think Charlie wants to do this without wasting meter. He will.
Oh, fuck. That's the one to work.
He doesn't look like he has to. Wow. See?
No.
Tried to trick him.
Wise. No, he's messed up.
He can cancel! Don't forget he can cancel! What the hell? What? What? Wow, she's gonna go tire instead of. Oh! Okay. Ready to get Oh my god. This is gonna work so well. One more. I believe it's come to that! Yeah. ROF gladly takes the throw. Whoa, wow! What? No way! No way!
Oh, it's looking so bad. Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Right.
Looking for the activate here.
Oh!
Definitely that V skill one. What a flow combo.
Oh my gosh. Damn.
Yeah, Som is all over it now. Look at this.
And he's hitting him with the infinite. He's hitting him with the infinite. Oh, alright, here comes a Twitter clip.
Oh, that jump could be it.
Gutsy jump.
Oh my god, he gets those jumps. Oh no, look at this.
And really knows when to turn up the heat.
Large life lead, no risk. That's a
Bang! Huge retribution. No, not yet. Bell, that did so much damage.
Yeah.
Whoa! Making sure that we have some clips of the highlight reel.
To be because of the angle.
Oh, there it is! Oh, let's go! We got the unblockable setup. Whoa!
Oh god!
Great back to base.
Another activate.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, I like it. That was so smart.
Ooh, that's it!
Oh.
Damn, no! Yep. Nick, you can get it again with it. Nothing but